Hey, what's up guys? Quinn here. Welcome back to another video. So for today's video, Troy is going to join me as we walk through our top 10 tank mates for the Green Terror. So we've had our Green Terror Joker for just about 3 years now, and he is absolutely one of our favorite cichlids. It can be a little tricky finding the right tank mates for the Green Terror, so we're going to discuss some of those considerations today. But before we get into that, you know the drill. Please hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate your support, and let's dive right in. So I currently have Joker in my 110-gallon custom aquarium in my high school science classroom. As you can see, they get awesome coloration, with the males getting that big nuchal hump on their head, which is usually a sign of dominance in the tank. Joker is about 9 inches in length and might have a few more inches to go, so a sizable tank is needed for these guys. But if you're looking for tank mates, you'll definitely want a big tank. We usually say 75 gallons as the recommended minimum size for a Green Terror, but with tank mates, a 6-foot tank would be ideal. Lastly, before we get into the list, I want to address this before the Green Terror police come after us and say that Joker is not a true Green Terror.
We know.
Joker is technically a gold Somm, which some may call a false Green Terror. The true Green Terror usually have white trim to the fins and slightly different colors along the body. It's all technicalities though, and this list would apply to both the gold Somm and the true Green Terror. With all that being said, I'm going to pass it over to Troy for number 10 on the list.
Hey guys, so I'm actually going to start us off with number 10 on the list, and that is the Geophagus. Similar to Green Terrors, Geophagus species are South American cichlids, so they share the same water parameters and usually the ideal tank setups. This would usually include sand, driftwood, and some rocks. Some types of geos that could go well with the Green Terror are the Geophagus brasiliensis, the Geophagus steindachnerii, the Spheni would be a pretty good match, and in some cases the Geophagus tophose. The main thing to watch out would be the aggression from the Green Terror. Some geos can hold their own while others may get bullied some. If you have a large enough tank with line of sight breaks, your chances of this working out will increase substantially. I actually had Joker myself for about a year with some of my more peaceful cichlids, such as the Geo, the Electric Blue Acara, and the Severums, before giving him to Quinn for the past 2 years. As a generalization, a lot of the Geophagus species will be more peaceful and could be in some danger of fin nipping from the Green Terror, which is why they aren't higher on this list. Since some Green Terrors can be aggressive, it's always good to have a backup option if things get too rough with its tank mates. But overall, I think Geos work out more often than not with the Green Terror.
So coming in at number 9 on the list is the Firemouth Cichlid. I keep my Firemouth in my 75-gallon aquarium behind me here, but I'm actually considering moving the Firemouth into the 110-gallon with Joker. Most of the time, Firemouths will hold their own against slightly larger cichlids. They get to about 6 inches in length and have unique coloration with the red along their bottom. Firemouths are Central American cichlids, so they don't have the exact water requirements and geolocation, but they are pretty adaptable, and they are one of the 3 Central American cichlids we have on the list. Similar with the Geos, I would be more concerned with the Green Terror picking on them than the other way around. But if you had the ideal tank setup and size, the Green Terror and Firemouth make a great combination.
So the next fish on this list may be a bit surprising, but coming in at number 8 is the Bala Shark. This is my Bala Shark in my 180-gallon South American cichlid tank. This Bala Shark actually lived with Joker for about a year before he was moved into Quinn's classroom. I've seen many other tank setups work out with the Bala Shark and the Green Terror, and even though Bala Sharks originate in Asia, they are also adaptable to many water parameters that the Green Terror requires. Bala Sharks are such active swimmers that they ignore most tank mates and are fast enough to avoid most issues with aggressive cichlids such as the Green Terror. They can actually act as dither fish as well, bringing that activity to the tank and making the Green Terror feel comfortable enough to come out of hiding and to divert his attention from other fish in the tanks that might become targets in a normal setup. I think Bala Sharks are a very underrated tank mate for most cichlids, and a great choice for your tank as long as you have a sizable aquarium.
Another Central American cichlid to consider is the Convict Cichlid. So I've kept my Convict with Joker for about 2 years now and have had no problems whatsoever. Even when the Convict laid eggs in my tank, they didn't really bother each other. As long as the Convict has enough territory for itself and there's space for everyone else to go, they should work out really well together. A theme you may be seeing here is that the larger the tank size, the better things will go with any of these cichlids. Convicts stay small, but they are feisty and hold their own with much larger fish. They are great beginner cichlids since they are small, hardy, and will survive almost anything. They also have unique coloration with the vertical stripes along their body, giving them the Convict name.
Coming in at number 6 on the list is another South American cichlid, that is the chocolate cichlid. Chocolate cichlids share the same water parameters and will also get fairly large, usually being slightly bigger than the green terror as adults. Sometimes they are a bit aggressive. I would probably label them as semi-aggressive, but when mixing them with the green terrors, you are actually matching that aggression and size with aggression. This can actually even things out some between the two tank mates. I haven't seen it get too bad with the chocolate cichlid or the green terror in terms of aggression, and I think again tank size comes into this. Our green terror, along with some of his aggressive tank mates, are actually pretty docile because the tank size is not the minimum requirement. It's actually a little bit larger than some sites and resources would say is the minimum tank size. Chocolate cichlids have unique coloration with that maroon and green color that really stands out in a tank. Overall, it's a great choice when you're looking for a tank mate for a green terror. Coming in at number 5 on the list is a great tank mate option for almost all cichlids, and that is the Pleco. There are many different types of Plecos, from the exotic types to the more common types, which can add some color and variety to your tank. Since they're very hardy fish and nearly indestructible, they will usually do well with green terrors, even if the GT is a little bit more aggressive than normal. They occupy different levels of the tank as well, so they kind of stay out of the way of most cichlids. And there are some really cool species from South America that could just add that extra element to your tank. And then some of the Plecos also help with algae, which is just an added benefit if you're struggling to keep algae in check in the tank with your green terror. And then number 4 on this list is the Flagtail. The footage of this Flagtail is actually from another YouTuber, DWS Darius, and if you're not already following him, I'll leave a link to his channel down in the description below. Highly recommend you check out his channel if you haven't already. But his Flagtail is just incredible, and as you can tell, it's a pretty large fish, so that's one reason it could likely go with a green terror. These are awesome fish with a silver body and striped orange coloration on its fins. It has a lot of similarities to the Bala Shark, which we talked about earlier, both in behavior and compatibility with the green terror. The one area Flagtails have over the Bala Shark though, is that it also comes from South America like the green terror. So if you're looking to keep your tank to a specific region or more of a biotope, the Flagtail is a great choice to add activity, color, and non-aggressive temperament to your tank. They also help with algae some, so that's just another benefit of keeping the Flagtail with your green terror.
So if you've been following along on our channel, you know that the Jack Dempsey Cichlid is one of our all-time favorite cichlids. I've kept Jack with my green terror for over 2 years now, first in the 75 gallon and now in the 110 gallon, and they have been perfect tank mates. Not only do both fish have amazing color, but they balance each other out well when it comes to aggression. I've never seen them go at each other in multiple years of being in the same tank, and in most cases, these cichlids will mix well. It could be risky if you're putting them in a 75 gallon tank or smaller, but with enough space, you really can't beat these two cichlids together. On top of the possible aggression, the Jack Dempsey is also from a different region, being Central American cichlids. So again, for someone looking for a pure biotope tank, you wouldn't mix these two. But overall, it's a great mix, and I love being able to have my favorite two cichlids in the same tank together. Coming in as runner-up, silver dollars make a great tank mate for green terrors. Silver dollars also come from South America, sharing the same ideal water parameters and tank setup requirements. They also provide a ton of activity in the tank, swimming together in small schools, and being a great dither fish for the green terror. If you're having aggression issues with cichlids, a great option would be to add in dither fish like the silver dollar to divert attention and give line of sight breaks. They have contrasting colors to the green terror and complement them well in many different ways. I'd highly recommend them for your cichlid tank.
So I have the honor of giving number 1 on the list, and that's a tank that's currently in my 180 gallon aquarium here, and that is the Severum. I've talked about Severums a ton on this channel, but they really do mix well with so many different types of cichlids because they get pretty big, but they stay on the peaceful end. Of course, there are always outliers when it comes to some cichlids, but in general, Severums are gentle giants. They hold their own against some of the more aggressive cichlids like the Green Terror because of their overall size and their temperament. Along with this, they are also South American cichlids like the Green Terror, and there are many different color variations that you can choose from. You could go with a gold Severum, or a turquoise, a green Severum, or even a red shoulder Severum. And all of these could work out well as tank mates for the Green Terror. Severums are another one of my favorite all-time cichlids, and I would highly recommend them in a tank with a Green Terror as long as you have a pretty sizable tank. So now real quickly, a few honorable mentions that we almost put on this list and a few reasons why they didn't quite make the top 10. First off is the Oscar. The reason we left the Oscar off of this list is really just because Oscar's personalities can be so hit or miss. Each one seems to be very different, and they do require a very large tank. So overall, you'll usually be just fine with an Oscar and a Green Terror, but those are the reasons it narrowly missed this top 10 list. Another great tank mate option would be the clown loach. Clown loaches get pretty big and stay hidden in your aquarium most of the time. Just 2 quick things to keep in mind with them is they need a very large aquarium as adults, and they don't come from South America like the Green Terror. Another possible choice would be the Walrus Cichlid, which actually comes from South America, but sometimes they're a little more on the peaceful end. They're very similar to Severums, but because they tend to do best in groups when they are in a peaceful environment, sometimes it may not be ideal for the Walrus, although I do think you would find success keeping them with a Green Terror.
Alright guys, so that is it for today's video. I hope you found these recommendations helpful, and hopefully it makes you want to go get a Green Terror because they are an awesome fish. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next week.